Good evening. It's 8 o'clock on Friday, or possibly just past 8 now. But either way, it's 8 o'clock on Friday, and this is Transformers the Show.
May I have your attention, please? Woo! This is the captain of your ship! I'm sorry. When you found this away! You left me broken hearted! But I never loved you anyway. No, I never loved you anyway. No, I never loved you anyway. No, I never loved you anyway.
Welcome to episode 139 of Transformers the Show. I am your genial host, Andy. And joining us tonight on this episode of the show are our regular hosts. We have Scotland's answer to Chris Hemsworth, Jamie, or Storm, as his screen name might say. And we have the man who has more celebrity connections than Jeffrey Epstein, Alexis. How are we doing?
When you say genius, you mean like you're wearing jeans tonight?
What? Nobody understands that joke. Shut up. Anyway, we are very lucky to be joined this week by the absolute internet legend that is Ultra Marcus. Mark, thank you for coming on and bringing your
meme himself. Thanks for. I'm not a meme. I wish I was a meme. That would really help. Thanks for having me, guys.
Up, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it really would. It really would. Look at all these lovely, sexy people in the chat. My God, it's getting me going.
A lot of chatters.
This is what it's like every week.
Little chatters.
Pure ripping sex in there. So this week we have all of your usual favourites, except possibly Fans Toys Innuendo. Alexis, have you done a Fans Toys Innuendo for us this week?
No, shit, I hate that crap.
Good. So we haven't got Fans Toys Innuendo. You can all relax about that. But we have got the other features we all enjoy.
If you want to give me a day, I can probably get one. If we could just pause, I can
day.
Come back. Everyone come back tomorrow at 8:05. I'll have it sorted.
I'm pretty sure last time it took you about a week because you were telling me you were planning it on the Monday. But anyway, let's crack on. And let's start as we.
I think Fans Toys has definitely outstayed its welcome. I think it's time to retire.
Oh, sorry, I should have said as well. Unfortunately, Paul can't be with us this week. He's in rehab.
Oh yeah,
so we'll have him back next week, I'm sure, and it'll be fine. It'll all be
Isn't
good.
he gorging himself in Star Trek toys? Just
probably. He's just laid in Star Trek toys, just
naked, rubbing them all over himself.
Or maybe that's just what made you think about him, Jamie.
By the way,
that's weird. Melting them. Melting them over his body like a candle.
You can choose to do whatever you want to do, Jamie, as long as it's within the law and doesn't get us in prison with you. Anyway, it's time for the news.
I talk some TV, and now the news. Don't touch that dial.
Does it have to be legal in this country, or is it any country? I'm just asking.
Oh, I don't know. Some of the rules in some of those other countries are a little bit dodgy, aren't they? Anyway, where were we? Oh, news. Yeah. So we start off with the mainline news. From today, there have been some more. Is it leaks? Is it? Well, it's not reveals. Is it? It's in the toys. But some more leaks of the upcoming 2023 Legacy and Studio Series figures. So you've got a few on there that some people will be interested in. We've got Shadow Striker, Strong Arm, for those who remember her from RID, and she's quite a popular female character now. We've got Bombshell, which is one I'm particularly looking forward to carry on those deluxe Insecticons that we started with Kickback.
I did not know that. I am hearing this for the first time. Bombshell is the next Insecticon. I need him for a stop motion because I want to establish the true origins of Cyclonus. So that's cool.
Yeah.
See, I'm behind on the news.
We'll discuss this after the show. It better work out the way we want it to.
We should have said, Mark, bombshell alert. We've got a bombshell to give. That's right, it's Bombshell.
Oh dear God!
Sweet Jesus, where's that trombone? Cue that thing should be on
Sex people.
What do you mean?
Is that
I love the way we went into the sex people.
I think
less than 5 minutes.
Alexis. Every time we should discuss Alexis, it should be the sex people chat first.
Oh, every time. Anyway, let's get back to the news because otherwise we'll be here all night. So let's have a look. We've got Deluxe. Is that Detrius? Not sure who that is. And we've got
pictures
DevCon,
of
which
the
we
stuff?
knew was coming. Pardon?
Sorry to interrupt again. Have we got pictures of this stuff?
No. This is literally all that we've got is it's being reported on things like TFW. Oh, sorry, with the pictures not shared. I didn't realise the pictures weren't shared. Sorry, my apologies. Although I'm not in charge of that, to be fair.
But, normally someone says, "Can you share a picture?"
Well, it's the news.
I thought you were still chatting because you
DM me the
face there.
Oh, I will do, Marcus. But we'll concentrate on the Transformers for now. We've got what's Robo Wild Rider. Any ideas? Is that just going to be a variation on the?
Do you think that's going to be like Scooter from GoBots?
I'm not sure. But we've also got a character called Scrap Hook, which is interesting as well.
Yeah, we're getting strong arm.
Sounds like a Constructicon.
I mean, it could be.
Yeah, well, that's what I was thinking.
Could be a renamed one, couldn't it?
Couldn't it be? That's the thing. We just don't know. And do we really care? Think about the things that we do know. Bombshell, strong arm, a junkie on 3. Yeah,
for all those people who want the add-on kits.
Devcon obviously a Scourge repaint.
Who's strong arm?
Strong arm. I think a lot of people will be excited about that.
Hasbro should be brave and call one of the characters Coitus.
Is it strong arm?
What series is strong arm from? I genuinely don't know.
Robots in Disguise, I think, was the first one she appeared in 2015. And she was a good character as well. I mean, her story work was good, and then she became very popular. So I'm not surprised that they're kind of getting her into this legacy line
because she was the one who broke the mold, wasn't she? She was a female bot who didn't have the typical RC type sort of architecture.
Exactly. It wasn't all the TNA. It was just
what does she turn into?
It was like a 4x4 type pickup. Yeah, police one. She was supposed to
forgive me for not knowing this stuff. I'll play the role of like the assistant in Doctor Who. I'll ask the questions. The audience wants to know.
Us up. Make us look good. That's great. Okay. What else have we got here? So we've got.
I ask those questions. Don't pander. Don't pander to our guest, Andy. I always ask those stupid questions. I get stated.
Yeah, but you should know them. Anyway, 86 Deluxe Brawn. That's an interesting one. So I'm guessing it's just going to have much more of a G1 aesthetic to it. Voyager Ratchet, which we're assuming is just the inevitable Ironhide repaint with a couple of other bits, and then this with Deluxe Capsule 1, Capsule 2, Capsule 3. It kind of carries on like that. Legacy
Sounds
Leader.
Like you shut up your ass.
Yeah, I was just going to say. So yeah,
suppository
if
one.
You're blocked up, and if you're having problems. Get a deluxe capsule.
I think the interesting point is about DevCon is, a lot of people would think that would be maybe a Scourge remold or repaint, but because it's a different size, they're saying it could be a retail. Now we know when it came to like Tigertron and Cheetah, but they're upscaled and downscaled, so they can maybe downscale the mold slightly, or it could be. I don't know if that's the reduced amount of use of plastic, because when it comes to the size scales, it's all about how much plastic they put in. Though I'm not sure how they could do that with Scourge without making them lose a leg. So it probably might be a downscale.
What size is Scourge in Deluxe? The Voyager.
Yeah, Scourge is a Voyager.
DevCon's going to be a what? Sorry.
DevCon's going to be a Deluxe according to this.
Oh, smaller.
Deluxe DevCon. So smaller. Really?
Unless she's got a different ship.
Anyway, we'll move on because we also have, obviously, from the Legacy line as well, we've got Armada Starscream. We've had some more pictures that have come from Takara, just showing him off. Looking very nice. Still going to pick this one up. Lovely jubbly. And then this came out of nowhere, didn't it? Now, this is called Shadow Script. Is that right, Jamie?
Yes.
So it's basically a black and gold repaint of drag strip.
G2 colors.
Was that his G2 colors then?
Yeah,
I don't think so. I don't think it's exactly G2 colors though.
And it's
definitely not the G2 name. So it's
G2 Stunticons.
While Alexis is doing that, we're going to move on. This has appeared in Australia, and they're already out in Australia. And none of us knew, I don't think, that this was coming.
No, I missed a few days of news, and I turned on Instagram, and I just saw this, and I was like, bloody hell, that came from nowhere. So this really did come from nowhere.
Yeah, so there's the box, just in case anybody's thinking it's not real or whatever, or hasn't seen it yet. So Shadow Strip, as it says.
Original G2 colors. He was and then there's a yellow one, a red one.
I love the one on the left.
A blue one, and most part of purple with a blue trailer. So yes, it is the original.
But like,
no, that's not what we're saying.
You're not listening.
Yeah, it's not exactly what the G2 was like. They might be using some of the colors from G2, but it's not exactly what Dragstick became.
The colors. Somebody mentioned this in the chat. So the colors remind me of what was there actually was a 6-wheeled Formula 1 car, wasn't there, for a time that was in similar colors to this, I think, was it?
Yeah, and it had a different name as well, and everyone thought we were getting that, and we've got this, so it's a bit of a surprise.
In the chat,
and it's from the Velocitron line. So, I think it looks nice. I don't know whether I'd be that bothered for picking it up.
Well, it means we could be having repaints of the other combiners, meaning the next combiner will be a repaint Menace, or...
That's the thing. If you pick this up, then you're going to want to pick all the other ones up, and then you're spending £400 on all the Stunticons, both versions, and it does look gorgeous, man.
And Crusher
doesn't. Oh,
that's the best reaction I've ever had.
I like Crusher. Crusher needs lipstick. That's what they should have done. That was Crusher's iconic look.
You know the drag strip just now. The one on the left. Can you go back to that for a second, or not? That's a big problem. The one where they're sharing colors, where they're switched. Can you go back?
Oh,
again?
Sorry, there.
Yeah, the one on the left there just feels like you could put like Adidas stripes down the side of him, and he'd just be like chav strip.
That's proper chav looking.
Very Slav.
Yeah. It does.
Sorry,
it definitely does. Anyway, let's.
You can do it.
Moving on.
All the Armbots could actually have half and half, couldn't they? Like, you remember how you used to have the Micromasters, which did that, didn't they? Used to combine. Like, you could do it with the all the Armbots, couldn't you? At that scale.
I suppose potentially, yes.
Cue Tumbleweed. I'm surprised you haven't got a Tumbleweed for whatever. You need to get a Tumbleweed.
We've got the sad trombone. That does the job.
Interesting combinations come up.
Crashers.
It was a good point, actually, Alexis.
Because this is just the repaint of the Siege Mirage. I think it is. Is it the Siege or is it the Earth version?
I can't really tell them apart, actually.
No. Anyway, it's there. They're basically the same.
So is that? I think is that a GoBot recolor? Is that?
I would have to go
based
back
on the GoBot. Yeah.
You would have to go back to the. I mean, it looks like to me the Earthrise one in the sense it doesn't have the shoulder connections for the rocket.
Yeah, you look at the arms. The arms fold into the engine, not the back wing.
Yeah, so it could be the Earth one then. Yeah. Anyway,
good or baddie?
So Crusher, baddie, Decepticon.
Okay.
So there you go. Cool. So there's Crusher. We also had this. So there's going to be. Is this also in the Velocitron, or is it just Legacy line? But anyway, it's from Transformers Legacy, and it appears to be a repainted version of Hot Rod. And there's been much debate over the colours. Yeah, toy colours. So this is all we've seen so far, but I'm sure more pictures will be out and leaked soon. A lot of people disappointed it wasn't just the more pinky colour, but I don't know. If you're a Hot Rod fan, I bet you'll still pick it up. Jamie?
I'm a Hot Rod fan.
I'm not sure. I'll have to see what colours it's going to be.
Just one then. Just the one. There we had this. Oh, this is wonderful. So this is from the new Transformers Earthspark cartoon, and they've done a video that basically introduces the main characters. And these are stills from that video. So this is the non-face-plated version of Optimus Prime, and those cheekbones are amazing. Look at that.
That is some serious, like early 90s Johnny Depp cheekbones going on.
I just think that looks horrendous. I didn't realise with the cheekbones before. I thought arguing the mouth is fine with me and stuff like that, but giving them cheekbones just... People
in the chat might be able to correct me if I'm wrong here, but I'm sure that Nick Roach, who obviously many of us know through his work for IDW and everything, I'm sure Nick Roach was supposed to either be some kind of consultant for the designs or actually doing the designs himself. I forget which, but I believe he's been involved in all this. There's Prime with his mask on.
See, I can see there it looks quite cool, the cheek thing, but when he takes it away, it looks like he's
been...
Do you know when you've had all the moisture taken away from your face and you're becoming like a mummified, and it's a horror. That's what he looks like without his face mask. These cheek.
I've never really liked Prime without a face mask at all. A Prime without a face mask just looks weird.
But that face mask to me looks like like the bow of a ship or something. So the way it tilts up at the top.
Yeah, it has that little element of it, and that's the still that just shows a bit of the truck mode. Then we had
I think he has side eyes because he's got that
either-
cheekbone, but I don't know.
Either way, face mask or no face mask is a challenge wank. So, which one is your favorite challenge wank? Right.
Who had 14 minutes before Alexis made a masturbation joke? If you had 14 minutes, you've just won. Congratulations. Soundwave. Their Soundwave in this cartoon seems to be a mixture of the Transformers Prime Soundwave and like the G1 kind of a Soundwave. And once again, he has his sound weaponry, and he's going to transform into a stealth aircraft. So
cool.
Quite contradictory, that isn't it? If he's a stealth aircraft that makes a lot of noise.
It'd be really interesting.
No, they're very quiet. Stealth is quiet.
Yeah, that's whole point.
Exactly. That doesn't make sense, right? He's got his sound guns, but he's a stealth.
Oh yeah,
the point of stealth aircraft was he didn't get picked up in radar, not but it would
yeah,
the laws of physics on the side.
I don't think they're not necessarily that quiet, are they?
That's
the first picture you showed, I got like some Cyclonus vibes off that. I mean, is it the color? Is it? It's a very.
It might be. It's like looks. It doesn't look
so
kind of pure
basically,
blue.
What are we saying, guys? Are we saying not our Soundwave?
It looks like friends.
I'm not bothered. This is aimed
no,
at the
I
kids,
think it's
so I don't mind.
Right?
I don't know. I just think Soundwave should have transformed into something useless like Alexa, from Amazon or something like that.
I misheard you for a second. I thought you said Alexa.
Your Alexis.
I thought that's a bit harsh.
Alexa.
Coming out strong, sharing my thoughts.
And there's Bumblebee. I'm going to scoot through these a little bit. So we've got a new character called Thrash who turns into a motorcycle with a sidecar.
Cool. I like the goggles.
I like his goggles.
That's
I think that's a
dodgy
nice
name, Thrash.
Thrash Metal.
Close to
and
Thrash.
Then...
Or Thrash.
Thrash.
It's interesting. That's where your mind went with it straight away.
Well, see him doing these posts. My
Wheeljack?
name's Thrash. I mean, that just sounds dodgy as fuck the way he's holding himself like that. He's little hips.
Face on Wheeljack.
And he's got the sex doll face. Like, what the hell?
Oh, I believe that's the other thing I didn't realise when I was looking at these photos. It's going to be on Paramount Plus, isn't it?
Looks like a merfolk.
Do you think the new generation of Transformer fans are going to be caused with nightmares? Looking at the faces of these new bots.
Possibly. It depends whether they watch our show. There's Swindle. So Swindle's going to be in it. We all love a bit of Swindle. You don't look Swindle, you don't look life.
He looks actually pretty decent.
Yeah, it's quite an interesting look for him. My only thing with this still of RC is it just me that sees her with a mustache?
Yeah.
I think she's been drinking.
It looks a bit like Stan Lee cosplaying as RC.
I think she's been drinking some milk. Drinking some milk, nothing else, just milk.
Maybe Springer left something on her lip.
Marcus, I said milk. I said it. It was quite clear. You're off.
I went with the alt mode because
we thought we'd have a touch of class, and it's just
probably hangs out at a lot of the 1950s diners. They have a lot of milkshakes.
Exactly. Anyway, so there's
wow! Look at that car.
Character. Oh yeah, the car mode's quite interesting because it's a different look for her. So it's like Cadillac type version. And then we have a new character, which is Twitch, who is going to be, I think, maybe a bit more of the kid appeal character, and transforms into a drone. There you go.
Twitch, has she got a drug addiction or something?
I don't know if it's male or female designated, but possibly.
Well,
and Skull Cruncher.
So it could be anything, couldn't it?
Look at that meaty bugger. We've got a Skull Cruncher coming. So I actually quite like the design of that.
Into a crocodile, or does he transform into something new?
It transforms into a Croctobot. So yes, transforms into a crocodile. Croctobot.
The word crocodile copyrighted.
Yeah, it must have been.
Its mate seems a bit small. It looks more like an alligator to me. I don't know.
Oh god. Yeah, let's not get into that argument.
I think I'll have to go speak to the art director.
And Elita 1's going to be an all-terrain 4x4, and that's basically it for the mainline news. So
she doesn't look like she's been doing anything dodgy. No milk moustache in her face.
There we go.
I feel like certain members of the team are projecting right now. Right, third-party news. Perhaps if the pictures could be shared for third-party news,
that would be their sentences finally.
Third-party news.
If you haven't,
I knew it was enough of third-party.
Play the Red Dwarf theme tune.
Oh look, it's another Prime. I'm shocked. Anyway,
it's a good one.
Here we go. It's Optimus Prime. This is the one that this is the upscaled one, isn't it? Well, I say upscaled, but you know what I mean.
No, this is just a normal size, a masterpiece.
Is he playing golf?
That's not normal sized.
Normal hands. Masterpiece
normal
MV It's Masterpiece Prime 2.0 from Magic Square. Probably going to be the most articulate Prime we've got. And let's face it, like the MP44 is very articulate, but this does look really good, really clean everywhere. The version 1 was very good.
Oh God, what's he lining up to do there?
It's in the movie where he's just been Megatron's just got him.
Yeah, all right.
Oh, well, from behind. Oh, right, okay. I got it.
Handing off the Matrix.
Here's Graham showing off some classic Scottish banter.
I can't see what he said. Scorponok's got his head.
Yeah.
Is that what it's about? Yeah, should have known. Yeah. So it won't be Scorponok this week.
The banter of a 70-year-old Graham.
It's just a really good Prime.
Old Optimus Prime.
No Magic Square. Like this thing will probably come £100, 120, I reckon.
Do we not have a price tag?
How big is it? How big is it, Andy?
Masterpiece.
Oh, okay.
Either of us. Either or. Are we talking about?
Well, you don't.
Yeah.
Alexis, you're the master of the inches, apparently. So how tall will this be?
9.2, roughly 9.2 inches.
Roughly 9.2. That's quite exact.
Yeah, but what's your idea of 9.2 inches?
9.2 inches, he says.
That's about 1 inch.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Does it ever get bigger than that? I don't know.
Oh, look, there he is with his little mate.
Oh, that's the Magic Square one, is it, on the left?
Yeah,
they're both Magic Square. They're both the same price.
Oh, they're both Magic Square. Oh, wow, Magic Square are breaking into big bots.
It's the second one they've done.
What was the other one? I don't listen to third-party news. So
nobody does.
What was the first one, Alexis?
That one on the right hand
side.
But
Alexis, you don't mind us. You just follow your dream and keep talking about this stuff which no one cares about.
The one on the right. So Transform Element did the Prime. That's Magic Square
interesting.
2.0. And what you'll see, Marcus, in the second is Magic Square's first Prime they did. There you go. So
wonderful, Alexis.
Okay, cool. How many primes are they going to do before we get a Megatron?
The first one
20.
Yeah, the first one, the MS 1.0.
How many colours have we got in the spectrum?
There's the official one. There's the third party.
There you go. And there's the comparison in the truck mode. And then we have Ronin. So go on, tell us about this one. What scale are we looking at for this?
Masterpiece again. This is a new Ronin. I think they do. They did. Or what have they done? I think it's the ones who did the Star Saber. And they've done the new Wing Blade. They've done an MP version of Drift, as if he was in the G1 comics or G1 Monsters rather than IDW. So it's G1 transformation into a flying car, which looks like Trax a little bit in my mind's eye.
That car mode looks a lot like Blur from Armada, and also a little bit crossed over the back end of it. Looks a bit like Point Blank to me. So that's a weird mix of like different alt modes from different characters put together to give him his alt mode. I wouldn't have put that as the ultimate alt mode as Drift personally, but there you go. It's nice looking though. I think the robot mode looks good. Will you be picking this up, do you think, Alexis?
Possibly.
I'll take that as a yes. We will move on. That's a nice shot there of him running past the camera to Alexis's house.
Really cool. What?
And then who is this one supposed to be again?
Teasers of.
Did you say Jesus?
Teasers.
I don't remember Jesus.
Jesus
like
of Nazareth.
Yeah, that's Jesus of Nazareth in his natural look.
Right.
Hello to all you Christians out there.
Well, Jesus belongs to a lot of the religions, actually. So it's just not Christianity.
Hello to all you religions out there.
Including one religion you never want to see something negative about.
Jesus, not Jesus.
Jeebus. Anyway,
Sam Thompson likes third party Alexis, but he probably likes GoBots as well.
Sorry, we're being very rude. Although time is ticking on, Alexis, so make it quick. But which version is this? Like one of the first Beast Wars versions of Megatron that we had? Did it turn into a whatever this thing is?
Territor. This is meant to G04 Air King. I don't know what 1, 2, and 3 were. So I'm assuming it's not Transmetal. From the hand size, I think it's Masterpiece. It looks Masterpiece size.
Well, there you go. Now we get to the good stuff here. If we're going to have third-party news, let's have this freaking third-party news. Go on, Alexis.
This is I can't remember what it's called. This is I think it's Darkwing. This one's called.
No,
Darkwing?
this one's Dreadwind. But is this MB23? Because the Darkwing is MB24.
Band's Hobby Power Masters.
Yeah, it's Band's Hobby though.
If they've now released images of them both together in jet mode, not combined yet. I think they'll probably save them for one more week. But this is test shots.
I showed this to Claire because obviously I ordered the double dealer. I showed this to Claire and said, "Look, Claire, the same company's making 2 more of my favorite characters." And she just gave me a look that absolutely screamed, "Fuck off, no chance."
Which one did you go for?
And you went
Purple Wings.
I went for the version A because I'm not really that bothered about what the wings look in his bird mode because I will hardly have it in bird mode. I'd rather have the truck mode looking more uniform than.
So is this going to be MP sized?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh my god, I'm going to have an MP size bot in my collection. But it's double dealer, so I justify it that way.
You have 3 of them. You have all 3 of them, won't you?
Oh, well, I suppose there's the little engine bots. I'll be interested to see actually how big they are. I do like this. I think this looks really good. But then I'm biased. I love the Power Masters. Were you a fan of the Power Masters, Mark?
I was. I had Optimus Prime. It was my only Optimus Prime at the time. Yeah, great memories, Power Masters. Cool. I wish that the little Power Master things came with double dealer in Earthrise. I felt a little bit robbed.
Yeah, you had to buy them separately. About 4 pack.
Yeah, did you buy the separate pack?
Marcus, I did not. No, I never did. I never did. So my double dealer,
then, isn't it, Marcus? You're just not a true drug collector.
No, it's
Jesus, Jamie's militant tonight. Who even are you, man?
I actually wasn't at the time. Double dealer was double dealer was the first new chug, the first chug figure I ever went into a Smiths and bought. So I was very new. I wasn't a proper chug collector at the time, but I am now. Thank you.
James,
once you go double D, you never go back.
He's got to build up to call someone a cunt at the end of the night, so he's building up to it.
I mean, I only caught half of that comment, but it was rude. You
I know.
Me, Alexis. Kick him now.
It's like I'm filtering them out. Nice. I just don't hear it.
You don't hear that word you said last week. Yeah, that Darkwing looks awesome. I'm gonna have to get both of them, and I am. And Claire might be watching this, so if you are, sorry, love, I've got to look at them. Look how good they look. Anyway, there you go. They're together.
Are they like they're sort of stylized to the original jets? They're not the same as the original jets, are they?
No.
What do you mean by stylized?
They're not like the original cut. They're not like
no,
the original...
they are. They're the original jets, yeah. The I forget the is it an F-16 Dreadwind, and then Darkwing was based off. It doesn't look exactly like the original G1 toy, but it was based off the Panavia Tornado, which is what the Royal Air Force used, and amongst others. And it's interesting looking at it because, like, normally so many of these like masterpiece and third-party figures, they're so clean you can't see all the bits, but they've actually kept in the little homages to the.
Sorry, we had to mute Andy there because he was giving detailed knowledge, which we were quite offended about.
And
you won't let that happen again.
News, by the way, so.
Resume normal functions so let Alexis talk pish.
Yeah, I agree. Those bits look shit, don't they, Andy? They should have.
I love them. I love it. It's great. Let's have some visible fists as well.
No, that knowledge was just blew me away there, Andy. I was scared.
Anyway, there you go. We've got to have somebody on here who knows what they're talking about. That's what we asked Mark on. And they look really good. They look really good together. So I'm looking forward to them. And I bet Gav is as well. And yeah, so Gav will beat you up if you say not rude things.
Graham said he'd provide a fake invoice for you, Andy, to show Claire.
Cheers, that's appreciated.
And it's nice to know that Graham is not above breaking the law.
In order to make that sale.
Don't worry,
for you, the customer.
It's a secret, Graham, just between you, me, and a couple of million people on YouTube.
Graham, if we could talk
I think you're a bit optimistic with a couple of million.
Invoices for you. Not all Transformer related.
Anyway, go on. This is Steeljaw.
Yeah, like must be getting close. MMC's version of Masterpiece Tape Steeljaw, which looks pretty good. So I think it's going to be Steeljaw and I'm going to say Rewind, which are going to be released first, I think, which is this guy here.
Yeah, that's Rewind.
So that's him next to his IDW counterpart, also made by MMC.
Sweet. And then this, we've seen this toy before, but this is a slightly different version of the figure, isn't it?
It's a new repaint. He's got a couple of new guns. He's got his axe. He's got his sword there as well. So they're all new. Takes all the accessories from the
sword.
Takes all the accessories from all the other ones and builds it together into a new, more Marvel comic version color. I would say, like a lighter blue. It looks pretty good. It's a really good bot, and they just
is it not based on like War Within or something like that?
Oh, I don't know.
Rather than Marvel Comics, because he wasn't in the Marvel Comics in this.
Jamie's doing the knowledge thing again. Stop him. Stop him with that knowledge. Don't give him that power of satisfaction.
Come on. See, this is why. The next time somebody complains about the show being too long, it's because whenever Paul's not on, Alexis will not shut the fuck up.
You're the one talking.
Oh, no.
Crack the whip, Andy.
Yeah, shut up. Let's get on. Right, that was the news, and it was all golden news. But now we're going to move on. And what do you think? Shall we do a little bit of pickups, maybe, Jamie?
I honestly don't know because I don't know.
I'm just wondering what.
We now return to the Transformers.
Seamless. Also that wonderful moment when I realize I'm talking really loudly because I can't hear myself properly through this. Right. So pickups. Would anybody like to go first?
You can go first, Nan.
Nan?
I can go first.
What
is your Nan there?
Oh, dear myself, think.
Right. Sorry. So, basically this week, I got a custom, and it was done by Gav. Basically, what we did is we got Minerva, which is here. And we decided, well, I had the genius. Actually, it was all Gav's idea. Gav told me that he could actually customize this, potentially make it into the Headmaster Minerva because I had the Headmaster from the special pack. So what he did was I sent a Minerva for the post. I got another one from In Demand Toys. And he modified it. So I've now got a Headmaster Minerva as shown in the photos there.
I didn't even twig. I thought it was a Headmaster. It looked so good. Like originally.
So there's a sort of more of a close up there. So there is got the actual Headmaster, the Titan Master, I guess I should call it. And there they are there with all the heads off. There's a little Minerva there because in the actual cartoon, Minerva was actually the head. She wasn't actually a human or a Nebulan. So that is actually Minerva there. Right in the center.
Spike's got a face.
And there's the comparison shot between Minerva and the original Legacy Minerva, which it was modified from. The only thing was, because of the backpack, you couldn't really get the head bit there. So the little legs, which would normally be tucked behind, you have to sort of stretch them out. That's if you want to keep everything intact like it originally was, so you could transform it. There's the port, which was taken from a donor transformer, which was Highbow, Titans Return Highbow. So what Gav did was he completely opened this up and inserted in the sort of like donor port.
And there is Gav.
What's that?
He's a very talented man.
Oh yeah, he did this like within hours. Actually, he just got it, and then posted it off that day. He did it within hours. It was just a fun thing to do. The original head is there from the Minerva, and it actually has the ball joint actually has the same size for the original Titan Master. So I'm able to swap back to the original head if I wanted to. Or you could also move back the tab, which you need for the transformation, just to have the legs closed. But to be honest, it's brilliant. I absolutely loved it. And it was just a good sort of like, fun thing to do. And there's sort of like a shot just showing you sort of both the comparison from the front and from the side. And it's just fun. You got your Headmaster Minerva, which a lot of people really wanted. And Gav just said, you know what, post this. If you've got a copy and you've got like a spare junk, a donor bot, I can make a sort of Headmaster, and I took him up in that, and it was just fantastic. And I absolutely loved it. And to be honest, it was just brilliant because once I got it, I was taking shots and I just posing it with the other Headmasters. So with me, I just thought it was brilliant, and I really did love it. And I hope you can see that with the photos because the photos were done really quick, and just came out because I just wanted to see and show what Gav had done as well, and to appreciate how really happy I am with it.
They always are.
So I absolutely loved that, and I just think he's done a good job, and the important thing was it still transforms, everything works. He could have done it an easier way, and not went to such trouble. So you'd completely taken it apart, you know. Not like me with bloody RC, where I was like 5 hours just trying to get one pin out from the back and crying.
I was just
going
to say, was he bleeding? Was
he
bleeding
no, he wasn't. I was really disappointed because you were sending me
Yeah.
photos and update, and not one of the pictures had any blood. You know, I was
Unbelievable.
like,
These amateurs.
I know. So I was kind of disappointed there, but I absolutely loved that. Another thing I wanted to show. Yeah, so just do this just now. Is some pictures I did of Dinobots, and I decided to sort of put them all together. So I'm going to go and share. Oh.
Shit. Thanks, Arrow.
Oops.
Smash that like.
Wrong one. Yep, so there. So there were some pictures I did of the Dinobots, Slug or Slag, whatever way you want to call them, and Grimlock. Now, I'd done some photos and I'd sort of shared them, but this time I just grouped them all together.
What swords? What third-party swords are they?
Swords.
I think they were the ones from Dino Island Toys.
Yeah.
So you could always look there because that's where I got the upgrade kits from.
Dino Island Toys. I'll have a look at that.
Yeah. Very good company. Two of the guys in the Transformers UK forum, brilliant, funny guys. And it's a kind of a homage to Ultimate Doom.
With Cybertron in that background.
Yeah. And I kind of liked that.
Very nice.
So you can sort of see Cybertron there in the background. And that's a place, a Shockwave.
Great.
You know. But yeah, so I really like those photos. It's pity because of a lot of things that's happened recently, and I never really got to finish them off properly and, you know, complete it. But yeah, so that's them.
Fantastic.
And the other thing I've got this week, and I'm going to see if I can stretch without spilling all my beer, is I got this big guy.
Oh,
Metroplex.
Nice.
Cool, I'm now going to put him back down and hopefully not drop him.
You could do his proper voice, Jamie, because he's Scottish.
Is he?
Yeah, he's
Is he really?
in the original cartoon. Yeah, he's got a Scottish accent.
Is that only when he goes into his dwarf mode?
No, all the time. And he's the leader of the giant planet.
And he comes with that sort of weapon, which reminds me of, do you know, in school when you had those meter sticks you would roll across the ground to it? It reminds me like he's got a massive meter stick, you know.
How many inches is that, Jamie? It's huge. You know, that's at least 6 inches.
Is that what I Scottish massages, Jay? You go up and down someone's back.
What?
Oh, yeah.
My knob.
Trundle wheel. I was just sat here trying to figure out what the colours wheels.
I think I've got
Trundle wheel.
Have a look
Looks like
one right now.
That's the one. Should know that working in schools.
And
where's he gone? Did you get rid of him?
No, I think he's done it.
I didn't get rid of him. I think he's booted us. And I also got some stamps which I've not opened yet.
Oh,
yeah,
cool.
Sort of things there. So I'll be looking at them later.
Cool.
And that's me.
Cool.
Is Alexis cross with us? Is that why he's left?
No, he'll be. I don't know.
He'll come round. He'll man up.
He'll be ordering something off Dinobot Island now, just so he can get the same upgrade kits. Mark, what have you picked up this week?
I'm ordering a different one actually. They have another one I want.
Mark said no, Alexis.
Did you hear us slagging him off then?
Yeah, I did.
I thought he was being for a piss. Anyway,
this will only take a second.
I should say something. I like Dinobot Island toys. They've always been good with me.
Yeah, they're excellent, and they've got a really good reputation, I think, amongst the
on their website right now. That's what I really want. So,
go on, Mark. You were going to say.
I'm waiting on a load of stuff that hasn't come yet, but I've had two things like this week and last week. I've had Blaster, Evil Blaster, with his beautiful cassette and all that. So that's nice. And you guys have probably all had these as well by now, but we've got Ultra Magnus as well. And I do love that the blue cab in there. I've opted to keep the heads that it came with on first, that came attached to it for the time being. So I quite like that demonic head. But I think eventually
you
when
are
it
quite
goes,
pixelated, Marcus, but you are from Wales, so people just understand that he's from Wales.
The Welsh dragons are
hello,
flying. And
am I coming through? Okay, blah 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 blah.
It's just a bit pixelated, but we can hear you. Carry on.
Sounds amazing.
The evil head will stay on for the time being, but when he goes to live upstairs on the shelf, I think I'll probably switch it over to the good head and put him as the Diaclon. What's it called? Magnus Convoy?
Delta Magnus?
Delta, something like Delta Magnus. That's right. So that's all I got. That's all I've got this week, or even this month so far, actually. But I got some great stuff coming. So, but that'll be for another time.
Can you believe it? Borders Dude is actually missed Delta Magnus. Oh God, that's a shame.
I know, and I think it's sold out most places now, hasn't it? Which is going to be very annoying from that. Hopefully, they'll get some more in stock. They seem to be coming literally in waves. I mean, it normally comes in waves, but
I know In Demand Toys still had it in stock this week.
Did they?
They definitely did.
There you go,
midweek.
John. Have a look, have a check. Alexis, what have you got this week? And please don't say shelving.
I'm still ordering stuff online.
Tough. You can stop for a minute.
It's sold out everywhere else. I need to get it quick. I got one thing. I got IDW Turmoil.
Ooh.
Remember him? He's a bit of a
lovely.
rare one. Been looking for him for a while. He's a repaint of their Impactor, which I didn't know actually. I thought it was a repaint of their who's the big guy? Not bulk, that Bulkhead and Roadbuster. I thought it was a repaint of him, but he's not. He's smaller actually. Because I remember him as massive in the comics, like. So I wasn't sure.
He was big, yeah.
I wasn't sure if he's like, chug scale or if he's meant to be like Legends Plus. So, like, you remember how where he came off the ship and sort of picked up Wheeljack, then he shot him through the stomach. Well, that's my Legends Iron Factory Wheeljack. And I thought that's not a bad size because if he picks him up and shoots him, it's like that's about the right size. But then he's a bit bigger than everything else. I've got a MMC Rodimus, so he's not big enough there, is he? Like Rodimus is bigger actually. But then if I use my model kit Rodimus, that might work. I don't know. So it's like, so he's decent. He's rare. I picked him up on eBay. I was the only bidder. I'm really surprised. Like the guy said, like sold the scene. I was like, like when someone says sold the scene, like it's like, oh, what's wrong with it?
Yeah.
So I emailed him and said, what's wrong with it? He goes, nothing. It's just been in the shelf. To be honest, it was fucking dusty. I got out of the box and like had to give it a bit of a clean. But it was £100. Like, and these go for like 200 normally. So
wow,
it's decent. Like, I was just surprised no one went for it. So. I've got one, probably keep for a little bit. He's got a really nice head sculpt, and the blue line's really cool. And he's got his signature big blaster. So he's decent bot. There's nothing wrong with him. It's just a weird scale. That's all it is. So I'll see if he fits in the fam, and then if not, he can go to a child's home.
Or you can sell him on.
That's what I mean. Yeah,
for £200.
Space rate.
You heard it here, guys.
You're right. 190.
Alexis is a bastard. He's going to appreciate.
Right. I don't think I've got anything else. No, I've got a massive haul coming from a Mega Lock. Like, and when it comes, you're going to need about an hour. It's ridiculous.
Okay.
It's just been stuff that's just been building up for a while, and I just wondering, I'll just bundle the postage, and like today I had like 15 notifications of things going out, which will be here Tuesday. So cool. Back holiday special.
Excellent.
Ultra Marcus, that looks better.
Yes, you're looking lovely again there, Mark.
Looking gorgeous, Ultra Marcus.
Oh, me.
You too, Jamie.
Yeah, have I?
Oh, I always do. For you.
All right. Get a room.
And for you, Andy.
Yeah, you can watch.
All right then. Wait, no. I mean, no. Anyway, yeah, sure. All right. Can't turn that kind of offer down, can you? Right. It must be my turn then. So, we've had Ofsted in this week, so I'm at a new school.
September. Oh, there we
go. I've literally been in this school for 10 working days.
Who's Ofsted?
You should explain to the Americans that Ofsted are the people that come in and close down
Ofsted are the wonderful
schools.
People, exactly. The Ofsted are the wonderful people who come into schools, no matter how good they are, to tell them that they're not good. No, they came in, and the school that I've joined is in a quite deprived area, not just for around here, like quite deprived area for anywhere. And we knew coming into it, because we've got a new head teacher, about 4 new members of staff, including myself. So we knew coming into it that it was going to be a tough Ofsted. We don't actually know the results yet. the head teacher does, but they're not allowed to tell anymore. In the old days, they tell you, but they're not allowed to know. But it was a hard week, really tough week, very long days, not getting home till kind of 8, 9, 10 at night. And yeah, but good fun in some ways because it was camaraderie was great. Anyway, Claire felt really sorry for me because she knew how tired I was and how hard I was working, and obviously missing out and seeing the kids on the nighttime and stuff. So she ordered me some presents, basically, which was nice of her. So the first one that arrived was this, which was quite a nice surprise because it is the Galaxy Force Land Bullet, which is their version of the Transformers Cybertron. His name's escaped me now. What's he called? Somebody in the chat remind me what he's called. You'll know, you guys who are watching. But yeah, and it's nice that she bought it. But what's really nice about it is it's actually still, it's not sealed, but the actual toy is still sealed in the box. So it's never been taken out. It's been opened. Somebody's obviously taken it out and looked at it.
On card.
Everything else, mint on card, yeah. So that's really nice. And that was a real surprise. So that was very nice. But what was more of a surprise was that she's actually apparently bought me another thing, which is here, which I haven't actually opened yet. I don't actually know what it is. So I'm going to open it now.
Big
unboxing!
Fingers crossed, Jamie.
Is that on the thumbnail?
That's what we've been asking for.
That's on the thumbnail. That's going right on the thumbnail.
Change the thumbnail. Unboxing.
Live unboxing, because they always go down well. We'll make it a top 5 live unboxings. Right. So I don't know what this is. Whatever it is, I will be very appreciative.
Paul's already salivating at mint on card.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a surprise unboxing.
I love it. Oh! I think Jamie will be quite pleased. It's the Coronation Starscream, which Jamie actually shared. You tagged me, didn't you, the other day?
Yeah.
Because I think it'd come up on offer. So I'll have to. Yeah, well, it came from in demand. I bet it is. I bet it's the. So that's very kind. If you are still watching, wife, because you were watching earlier when you sent me a screenshot of Graham Moffat's comments.
Hello, wife. Hi, wife.
Hello. Mark's lovely. We like
Hello,
Mark.
Claire.
We're not keen on the others, but yeah, we like Mark. Anyway, so thank you very much. Coronation Starscream. I look forward to swapping him out for my normal Starscream, and then probably just keeping both because they're both lovely. That's awesome. So yes, those are the only things I've got. But we are apparently taking the kids to Smith's on Sunday. I don't know why. Apparently they deserve to go. So I'll probably buy something there as well. And that's it. That's me. That's everything I've got for now. So I know I'm disappointed it wasn't a Mankini 2, Dave, but I'll find one for you. Don't you worry. I used to have one, but that's a long story. We'll get into that another
I've got
time.
a spare one, mate. Do you want me?
I know you've got one. I'm not wearing yours.
No, it's my spare. Barely been one.
Okay. What are we doing next? Is it Rohan's corner now? It feels like it should be
I'd
Rohan's
love it.
corner.
I'd love a bit of Rohan. I'd love a bit of Rohan.
Or is it? No, it can't be Fans Toys Innuendo because we're not doing it this week.
Shit, should I do that? I'll get one.
Well, I was going to ask Ultra Magnus to sing us into Rohan's corner.
Ultra Magnus.
I can do that.
I'm sorry, Ultra Marcus. He looks like Ultra Magnus to me.
I have one quick question before you do that, though, Marcus.
Oh, it's unfortunate.
Oh my god! I tell you what, I need to get some of these administrator rights or whatever it is. Anyway,
take
Mark,
us away.
Are you ready?
Marcus.
You can just crack on.
Rohan!
From the evil Decepticons, the heroic Autobots are led by Optimus Prime. He's more than meets the eye. He's a Rohan in disguise.
Rohan? Who is this guy? Rohan. The one and only Rohan.
Hello everybody, thank you guys and welcome back to the corner. And for a change, I'm actually going to do something I said I was going to do many eons ago, which is to talk about the combiners. If you remember, Rudy Suzu, our good friend of the show, reached out to me some time ago and said, hey Rohan, I've got this amazing idea. Let's do a combiner mini-series where we look at all of the combiners over the past and compare them. We look at their toys, we look at their characters, we look at their third-party offerings. We look at how they interacted with other toys in the toy lines, and he got really excited about it. In fact, he got so excited about it, it blew my mind a little bit because I've only got a really tiny little brain, you see. Anyway, the point is that he's got some real passion for this, and I feel like he could do a much better job than me. But what I started doing last year was having a look at some of the Generation 1 combiners of the years gone by. Specifically, I did an episode on the Constructicons Devastator, which is probably the most, let's say, well-known of all the combiner teams, the 6-man combiner. And then I also did an episode on Bruticus and the Constructicons because I really... Constructicons? No, Combaticons, because I really enjoy those characters and the alt modes in which they're based upon and the brute force of them all. And also their storyline, having worked for Starscream and then being made to move over and work for Megatron, and the fact that they were Decepticon renegades in the first place. Excellent. However, I only did a little bit about the Stunticons. Even though they're my favorite combiner team, I didn't do a full-scale episode on them. So I will do one at some point because they have some amazing alt modes, and their episode in Key to Vector Sigma depicting how they came about and their characteristics as well. Some of them have got real good personalities, especially Dead End Breakdown, with the sort of camaraderie between the two and also the extent to which they are different.
Guess it's all up to me now. A flying car! How droll! I'm burning up, I'm burning!
And then you've got Dragstrip, who's just mad. And also, obviously, with Legacy Menosaur coming out this year, I think it would be a good time to do that later in the year once the team is complete. If it is complete this year, it might be next year. But in terms of the Autobot combiner teams or Gestalt teams, I haven't really talked too much about it. And there's a reason for that. And that's because I find them kind of bland. I do worry that they are sort of... They tried to eke out kind of characters from some of these guys, and some of them do have cool alt modes. I mean, Superion and the Aerobots, they do have cool jets in there. Specifically, Skydive and Air Raid, to me, are my two favorite, I would say. Silverbolt actually is pretty cool as a Concorde. The other two, not so much. But, you know, look, ultimately, they tried to put some character into Silverbolt with his inability to fly high and then making him the leader of the team and struggling with that. That was kind of cool. And Slingshot being an ass was kind of funny to an extent, but also he was just an ass, so that was less funny.
Hey, did you just call me a junker?
But overall, I found that the Superion and the Aerobots, who were the longest serving combiner team of Generation 1 for the Autobots, were really bland. And especially post-movie, they're just there as Superion. They get shot at, they battle a little bit, and you know they don't really have much to say. And the voice actor for Superion specifically jolts from very poor to what is this? And you're like, can I even understand him at times? And Omega Supreme also had a difficult to hear voice actor. So when Defensor came along, I thought, oh, awesome, emergency vehicles, these are going to be great. Let's have a look at these. No introduction whatsoever, no real character to the majority of them, with the exception of Hotspot and Blades. First Aid, yeah, to an extent. Obviously, First Aid had his iconic episode, The Ultimate Weapon, and Defensor got a good showing in that episode where, you know, he's catching the train one-armed and all that kind of good jazz.
Good work, Defensor!
And the characters depicted into the toy form were actually quite good as well, but I just felt that Defensor was weak when it came to his combiner state. He was always losing against who he was fighting against, and also he just didn't get enough screen time at all. And the First Aid pitch was pretty good, but ultimately it kind of took away from what Transformers really do most of the time, which is fight. And that's kind of good and it's kind of bad. But for me, my favorite Generation 1 Autobot combiner team was Computron and the Technobots.
Of course.
As seen right here, bigger, which, you know, it's really good color scheme. They've got futuristic alt modes. They had this amazing idea to make them really intelligent and logical thinking, which
I'd calculate a 3-fold rise in energy levels somewhere in his central power core.
Worked really well in Star Trek. If you're a Star Trek fan, you like Spock, it worked really well. So why not translate that into Transformers, right? And the story arcs that they got in pretty much their only real 2 episodes, let's be honest, which was Grimlock's New Brain, where they introduced, and okay, it's a bit far-fetched as to how Grimlock gets his new brain from some from some computer system deep down in Cybertron, transferred to him, and then he disposed that onto Computron or onto the Technobots. It's a bit far-fetched, right? But ultimately, I liked what they did with it in terms of him being very logical. When he's fighting Abominus, he can use that logic to defeat the brute force of Abominus, although it does take him a little while to compute that information, which is...
In Computron mode, Technobots have the computational ability of 200 supercomputers. When it comes to calculating odds, Computron rarely makes a mistake.
Which is interesting, and maybe not really true of AI and machine learning of today, but it would take a little bit of time to understand how that would work. But then on the flip side, really cool, unique characters in there in terms of Scattershot was actually one of the strongest leaders I felt for the Combiner teams, although once again not getting a lot of limelight. Lightspeed, who could have been really interesting and seems to have this kind of calm demeanor, very logical thought process about him, very philosophical, which I liked. Afterburner, who was very much like Strafe in a way, the Yahoo kind of Texan fight kind of character, which is okay, but could have gotten very tiresome very quickly. And then Nose Cone, who was unquestionably lacking in confidence when we first saw him and didn't really understand what things were about and needed a lot of direction. And I think they never really got a chance to expand his character much further than that, unfortunately. But overall, I like the team. I like the ethos. I like the idea behind it. Unfortunately, we've only ever had 2 official toys of these guys, one being the Generation 1 and 2 being the Combiner Wars team, which is quite hard to get hold of and quite expensive. There are some third-party offerings, which Alexis has got from Mate Toys, or there's the one that John Borders Dude has got from Warbitron. But for me, they don't seem to depict the Toon aesthetics, which I like in my combiners. And I'm really hoping that in the future, Hasbro will actually recreate them, because they're one of those characters who never really got the limelight. The toys didn't really do them justice, and I think that they could have some updated War for Cybertron type or Legacy type figures, which would really do them justice and would be good up against Menasor as a fighting combination, in my opinion. And so I would like them to come back in the toy line, and also ideally in the cartoon limelight, to get a little bit of exposure, because I just don't feel like they had any. So yeah, I mean, I really like them. I don't know how you feel about them. They only had the very brief episodes of Grimlock's New Brain and then Money is Everything, which was a really good episode and really drawn and depicted in the Call of the Primitives style. If you've ever watched that episode, it's not a very well known season 3 episode, but ultimately, I think I'd like to see more. What do you think? Would you like to see more of Computron and the Technobots, or is there a different Gestalt combiner team that you prefer who hasn't had as much limelight? Maybe Abominus, who knows? But they already had some toys in Parallel Prime, so there you go. Anywho, for another week, I've been Rohan, back to the studio.
Transformers, Rohan's in disguise.
I thought you went for a piss there, Jay. I thought you were still peeing.
Anyway, thank you, Rohan. That was another excellent video about the combiners there. I'd never liked Computron, really. I always found him a bit dull. Just a quick warning to my other hosts who hadn't noticed, you just need to unmute yourselves if you're still muted, just so we can hear
Rohan!
You. Exactly. Well said. Right, so did we want to... Oh, yeah, we're going to do Foreplay next, aren't we? So... Have we got?
We doing Foreplay?
Calm down.
Foreplay.
Oh,
Foreplay. Is the jingling? These are sex people.
What do you mean?
They're sex swappers. Lynn, this is DEFCON 1. Look. Look. Don't make the same noise as them. Don't think you want to join in.
And now this is the wonderful moment where we find that Alexis hasn't paid any attention to the discussions that have been had. So, Alexis, would you like to tell everybody what the foreplay is this week?
It is your favorite non-G1 bot.
Yay!
Oh my god.
Non-G1.
So anything that wasn't in the original G1 television media or G1 toy line, a bot that wasn't in the original G1 toy line.
Does that include Master Force?
No, well, it depends if there was a toy.
Japanese G1
counts.
Because that was kind of G1.
Anything from the
G1
just
pick
toy line.
anything for Christ's sake. Otherwise we'll be here all night.
So anything which is modern, more modern than 1990s.
Marcus can go
Nice to see your man
right
of principle. And then stick to your guns. Yeah.
Anyway, it is supposed to be a non-G1 character, but it can be a non-G1 character that has then appeared in what we would think of as the Generations line, which is usually associated with
the same name. It's been reused.
So yeah. Anyway, would anybody like to go first?
I'll go first.
Oh, go on, Marcus.
Okay, right. I don't have many non-G1 stuff. I have that Sparkle bot that's a car. Fizzle, Gizzle, Jizzle, Mizzle.
Fizzle,
Pizzle.
That's probably it. But I didn't
like my dad trying to talk about rap music. Fizzle my nizzle.
And so I was going to pick that, and then just as I was leaving my robo room, I saw something else, and I thought, that's it. So I'm going to choose this, which is the Platinum Edition, or Edition Platino. No, that's right, Edition Platino Astro Train from the Astro Train and Blitzwing set that came out God knows when, and I think this is a lot better than the Blitzwing you get. Although that's great, but this is just so vibrant. It's so colourful. It's so much fun to look at. And just as a little bit of my own added lore, I gave this guy his own name so that he could possibly be in my stop motion and be separate from Astro Train. Actually, that's a slight lie. My friend Crimson Raptors gave this guy the name, and he's in the chat now. Hello, Crimson Raptors. Shout out to all the Raptors, okay? And he named this guy Shuttlecock. So my favorite non-G1 character is Shuttlecock.
He turns into a shuttlecock. Brilliant.
I don't know, Crimson. What were you thinking?
And is it? He turns into a shuttle, and is that the same size as Raptor's cock?
We had to go there.
I wonder how big dinosaurs' genitals were.
That's the discussion, Marcus. Don't get not really.
We don't know, do we? If you think about it, the fleshy bits don't survive. Crimson, is there any intellectual study in this area? Let us know in the chat. Anyway, that's my bot.
I was chatting to him over chat before, Marcus. He actually named one of their genitals. It was called Subtlecock.
Poor cock. You wouldn't want a subtle one, would you?
Right. Who would like to go
quite
next?
Funny.
Me. Oh, great. I'd like to go next. I thought I'd go for a bit of a random one because a lot of the non-G1 characters that I've really liked, I've talked about before on the show, and I'm aware we kind of started repeating stuff because there's only so much you can talk about. So I'm going to go with a character that I may have talked about right at the start of this, but one that I've liked since. Not in his original appearance, because I didn't really watch it in his original appearance, but in some of the cartoons I've seen him in since, and I'm going to go for Beast Wars Cheetor. So we get a little bit of Beast Wars love for the Beast Wars fans. There you go. There you go, Ian. Look, a Beast Wars figure.
You consider Beast Wars G1.
It's not really G1. It's retroactively G1. It's after G2, so it's not G1.
So unprofessional.
And anyway,
when the officer comes in on Tuesday.
Shut up. It's Cheetor anyway. So
you're definitely
that's the one I'm
cheating.
going to go for. I'm cheating with Cheetor.
That's called irony, Jamie.
Irony, Jamie, indeed. Anyway, there he is. I like his colours. This one was actually bought by my son Kobe when at the first TFN. He was given some money. Well, the older kids were to give him some money to spend on a bot, and he chose this one. And unfortunately, in the time that he was looking after it, he's lost the gun. I think the one that goes underneath him, kind of forms part of the chest. But he's still got his other rifle, so he still looks all right. And I actually prefer this to the Kingdom version. I just think this is a more interesting toy and a more fun toy to mess around with and stuff. And so I liked him in the recent cartoons as well. I think in was it Cyberverse, the last cartoon that they had out. In that one, he was quite a good character in there. I liked what they did with him there. And of course, he did show up in Earthrise, or was it Kingdom? Whichever one it was when he turned up. Finally, the Siege cartoons that were generally awful, but he was pretty good, and a few more of the Beast Wars characters. So yeah, we always hate on Beast Wars, or not hate on it, but we give it a load of shit. And so I thought, I'm going to throw the Beast Wars fans a bone. So there you go, guys. Look, it's Cheetor. We like Beast Wars too.
You're doing this for charity. How noble of you.
Lap it up, plebs.
Something like that. There you go. All you little people there, Cheetor. Anyway, yes. So Cheetor, nice little toy. I wouldn't necessarily. I think they reduced the reissue of this to like a tenner in Smith's or somewhere. It was cheap somewhere anyway. So have a look if you want to pick one up. If you haven't experienced this toy, it's actually quite fun. But yeah, Cheetor, Beast Wars. No, sorry. Beast Wars. There you go. You won't hear that very often, I tell you. Jamie, would you like to go next?
Yeah, I'll go next. There was actually quite a large selection of possible G2 characters, and I've often had a soft spot for Windblade. I quite like that character, and it's like a very sort of Japanese sort of based style type of Transformers. And I might have mentioned I've been to Japan a few times. Myself. Yeah,
whoa. You've been to Japan, Jamie?
Yeah, I know I don't mention it. For the Rugby World Cup, actually. I was there for over 4 weeks.
Nice. Anyway, go on.
But anyway, my choice, and it was tough, because especially with IDW making, so many characters, sort of iconic and even stylized in UG1 characters, suddenly you got a whole plethora of different characters you could possibly pick. But I still think when it comes to what I consider like G2, when it was out there sort of thrust into your face, is Juraxis. When you saw how powerful this guy was, and the fact he battered Optimus Prime with sheer raw and aggression, and then you find out he was a lieutenant. It was exciting, because then you thought, what are the other lieutenants like? What is this Cybertronian Empire? This is just one lieutenant, and he just battered perhaps one of the greatest war Autobots that Cybertron's ever known and had.
Didn't he kick Megatron's ass as well?
Yeah. I mean, but that was the thing. But it was the hit home and he punched Prime, and literally most of Prime's face went off. And it was just like, wow, this is a cool moment. And it also kind of reminded me of the novel Watership Down, where when the bad rabbits are going after, oh god, I've forgotten his name. The decent cool decent rabbit, and they're sort of torturing him and beating him, and he's quite strong and powerful. He does this sort of clever line where he goes, I'll go and tell my bosses, or something like that, or I won't betray my commanders, because they thought he was like the leader or something like that. And I always thought this is kind of cool, because it's kind of like that with Juraxis when he sort of said, I'm a lieutenant, and it just sort of opened that door to a sort of to the imagination of what the Cybertronian Empire is like. Who's the big bad? How powerful is he?
Sorry, I just saw Marcus's comment.
It was Megatron, wasn't it?
It was somebody else's comment.
Was it? Sorry.
It's Windsweeper. Windsweeper started it, not me.
That's offensive, yeah.
I think we'll get away with that.
I don't want to laugh and find out that is how.
We'll show you after the show, Andy. It's a visual thing.
I know. So anyway, that's my choice. Juraxis.
Very good.
Jaxis, very nice. So Alexis, from your extensive range of bots, including the 2,000 you currently have on the floor or still in their boxes, which one have you chosen?
You know what I realised? That I don't actually have that many non-G1 bots. I'm a bit of a G1er.
Well, that should make it a much easier selection.
I mean, I had a little short list, but I thought about G-Axis. I read some of the G2 comic, and I thought it's actually well well written. When Megatron comes back and just blows the shit out of what's it called? Not who's the other guy? Who's Bludgeon. He goes, "That's not a tank. This is the tank," which is quite good. Didn't think about Beast Wars because that's G1 still, so I didn't go there. I thought about
only
going
retroactively.
But I did go for. I thought I'd go for Star Saber because he wasn't one of the original G1. He wasn't one of the original G1 toys. He was
not in the West. No, he was.
Depends where you ended your
G1
G1
toy. Yeah.
So and I thought this to me is just an absolutely cool rendition of him. He's, as I said, like the Iron Trans
What happened to
version.
his hand?
I'm sorry. Are we allowing this to continue? Because it's G1. Cut him off.
I mean, it is Japanese G1, but we'll allow it because otherwise
we will allow it because it's an awesome. Oh no, he's going. Come back.
Want to sleep tonight, Marcus? Because look, he's gone. Now look what you've done. This is what we absolutely.
IDW Star Saber.
Saw your bum.
There you go.
IDW Star Saber. My favourite is IDW Star Saber.
I'm
got that hunk of junk over there. Fucking old G1er. This guy, because he just looks fucking awesome. That's it. He just looks fucking awesome.
He does look fucking awesome, though.
Have
you got any other Star Sabers? Is there a third?
There is. I've got a Legends version in the box.
Could you please? No. I'd like to see that.
Oh, no. What are you doing, Marcus?
I don't know which box it's in. I have no idea which box it's in.
That's okay. I'll wait.
I've got a Legend scale. I have no idea which box it's in. It's a small box in the Legends version, but it's So not this one. This one.
Lovely.
Right.
Delightful. Thank you very much for that. Right. So I think that only leaves us with the discussion. Let's discuss it up.
I'm disgusted.
Well, I thought you were going to do the lead-in music. So.
Oh, okay.
Because Alexis said he wanted to do some chat.
Sorry. Yes.
Sorry.
You wanted to...
Very quick shout out to Dome Island Toys, who I got the Dookie Toys gap filler and upgrade kit for Grimlock, which I was looking for on TF Safari and other places. I couldn't find it, and they had it. And you know what? Oh, no, that's the wrong one. Okay, I was thinking, have I bought the last one? I don't know if I have or haven't, but I'm really grateful.
If you're after it,
if you're looking for it, it's the teeth, and then it's also
teeth.
It puts the
with an F teeth.
Yeah, teeth like Keith.
And you can also get a sword.
Opens up his panels on his arm with his foot feathers as well, so it's got proper foot feathers, and they still have it in stock. So if you want it, it's there. It's quite rare. So for your G1,
Kind of Island Toys people, go have a look. If you don't.
We now return to the Transformers.
I love how you cut them off every time.
Every frigging time. It's like Paul's still here. Anyway, Jamie, this was, I think, your idea of this discussion, wasn't it? So, do you want to just explain what the discussion is about?
Yes, basically, it was to sort of pick what your favourite G1 episode was of season 1, and discuss why you liked it.
Did everybody hear that all right?
Yeah.
Yes.
So by season 1, you mean before the movie? Our favorite episode before the movie?
Yeah, well,
no, you don't,
1.
do you? You mean season 1? Okay,
season
I
1,
will comply. I accept your terms.
But you've got Alexis, so have you got season 2 or season 3? Season 2 episodes.
I guess season 3 as well, can't I? Right?
Because the idea is to talk about something you actually really like. So I'd rather you did that than pick something you didn't really. So if it's a season 2 episode, go for it.
Season 3.
Yeah.
Season 3.
Fuck off, Alexis. No. You're not.
Should I go first? Or was Alexis?
Yes,
first?
Marcus. Why don't you lead us off?
Okay. My favorite Transformer episode actually comes from season 4. Sorry, Jamie. My favorite G1 episode is the episode in which we are introduced to Lord Zarak. Quite simply. Let me change that back. Yeah, I really like the rebirth because it bookends the whole G1, Western G1, quite nicely. You get both. They're both three-part stories. You get a rush of new characters in each. The odds are very, very high, and okay, possibly you shouldn't be introducing a shitload of new characters in your final story, but they had to. It's Transformers. It's what the show is for. So many characters have, I was going to say their best moments. I mean, it's the only moment for a lot of the characters, but I think Cyclonus and Scourge put in a really good showing, as do Hot Rod and Cup, and we get all these new characters, great voice acting performances from everyone, all these new characters. They're all fantastic. And it starts off with an epic battle. Okay, they're trying to redo the Battle of Autobot City, but the stakes aren't quite that high because no one dies. But you see what they're going for, and it's galaxy spanning. And I had it as a kid. I watched it loads and loads of times. It stuck with me, and I really, really like the rebirth. So I know it's not season 1, sorry.
And it's 3 fucking episodes.
You say Jamie. As a kid, I didn't realize it was 3 episodes because I first got it on VHS, bought in Woolworths.
And it was all one.
It was just 1 episode. There was no kind of in-between bit.
No, it goes part 1 and it goes part 2 and part 3.
Yeah, there's no music in and out.
And I remember it's ingrained into me.
But
you are wrong.
It wasn't seamless. It wasn't a nice seamless progression like I've been doing tonight.
It was beautiful. Stop slagging off the rebirth, Jamie. You like it? Shut up.
I do.
I agree. I think that was the rebirth is still my favorite of all the G1 episodes, and it was the one that I thought was most fun. Because in part, I think because as a kid, because they chucked in so many characters and so many really cool characters, and because we didn't get a lot of information about them from the cartoon, you kind of had that freedom to create your own versions of the character.
And you got at least some idea of like loads of these great voices like Zarak, like Mindwipe. When you were playing with them, you kind of knew what to do, if you were going to have a go at those voices. There was enough there for a reference point for you to jump off with your own collection and make your own head canon, your own lore. Because there is a heck of a lot in there.
Yeah. Well, me and Jamie have spoken about it many times about how the rebirth is like, I think it's fair to say, Jamie, that our favourite G1 episodes.
Yes, definitely. A fantastic episode.
What does Monzo? Crimson Raptors wants to know what Monzo goes like. I think it's something like, "It'll be a pleasure, boss." Something like that. Monzo, start with the boy.
Start with the boy.
It's so sinister. What are you going to do with the boy? Shit.
All right, Monzo.
Yeah.
Anyway,
that's a good. Have a cold shower, Monzo.
My favorite line from that one was the 2 twins when they were searching for Hot Rod. It's like, "Roger, Dodger, Optimus Prime. Roger, Dodger, Optimus Prime." Like, yeah, that's the only line that they said, really.
Because they're twins, so they just say the same line twice.
Exactly.
Yeah. There's so many bits that I love. Even little bits, like little moments of it, like Skull Cruncher transforming, knocking down a tree with his tail, and then transforming in the woods outside of that part where I think they were hiding the key at the point, or they had the key anyway. And then the Decepticon clones going in, and that whole scene with Punch Counter Punch. Oh, there's so many. We could literally do a whole episode and a whole discussion, I think, about the rebirth.
I love the way Cyclonus asserts himself as well. I love the way Cyclonus is so clearly. I mean, we knew anyway he's the boss, but he's like, shooting ape faces in the chest. You'll do as I say, or you will die. Okay.
Noble. I always liked ape face and the noble Autobots make me want to puke line.
Yeah, that's great.
Very true. And that wonderful moment always gets highlighted when Crosshairs gets grabbed by Mindwipe and makes literally no attempt to stop it. He just hangs there, just flown off into the distance. I mean, he didn't do anything at all. Didn't even try.
And Daniel gets horrifically injured. I mean, he was going to die.
Snapdragon, not a fan favourite for that alone. Yeah. Really killed Daniel. How did he fail? Anyway, there you go. Right, who shall go next? Who would like to go next? Anybody in particular? Any volunteers? Alexis, go on then. Okay. Did you say you had some photos, Alexis?
Oh, yeah, photos of the last piece. So I can do this at the end if you want. So
yeah, do that at the end.
So my favorite episode was season 3, and it was The Ultimate Weapon. Probably the episode I went back and watched over and over and over and over again because I think it was just the draw of having sort of Metroplex versus Trypticon, and it had quite a lot of depth to it, that episode, because it wasn't about them. It was a spotlight really about first aid, and him obviously wanting to be a pacifist and wanting just to be creative and build and repair and help people. And like he just didn't seem like he fitted in with the rest of his team, which obviously they all loved him, but he was obviously going through, mental health challenges at that point in time. He went off and spent time with who looked like a sort of a junkie on, didn't he? Almost like Doc, who was with Omega, to go and sort of help, sort of almost like up. Is it upscale? What's it called when you upcycle? Yeah. So that's what happened. But also there was also a bit of a turmoil, Rodimus was still going through his doubtful process as well, and even more so when like Galvatron brought out his ultimate weapon, and it was always like ooh. And he was like, "Oh, I wonder what that is." Like, and it was like I was a little bit disappointed at the end. I'll tell the spoiler at the end, but it was like quite cool when obviously the only two Cybertronian repair cars in the whole of the world visited Decepticon City to fix that leak, right? Which they had, and Spike and Daniel went to go in there, and clearly, obviously, it was just Magnus and Prime painted blue, which I thought was hilarious as well. And then they defeated the Sunscons and got out with Triptychon's transforming cog. Because what happened obviously was they took the transforming cogs, didn't they? So which was shenanigans. They had each other's transforming cogs.
Sorry, I'm just watching Jamie's face. It's very expressive this evening.
It was that whole thing. I always wanted to recreate that with the MMC first aid, where he's like lowered down at the end by Blaze when he gets his confidence back, and his team sort of go back to him, and they should have done it in the first place, but he had to give him space and went back and rallied with him, and he was the one that went inside Metroplex, even though he was shit scared, which anyone would be, right, being crushed by those two beasts, and then sort of altered Metroplex's transforming cog so that it would actually fit. And obviously, he was the only person then that could achieve that, because I don't think there was many medics or mechanics, was there? Retgar was a bit handy, wasn't he? But there wasn't really that many, was it? I mean, Technobots were they're a bit buildy, weren't they? They did a bit of buildy stuff. But were there any others in season 3 that did that sort of stuff? It was just first aid, wasn't it? All right.
Working as a medic, you mean?
Well, you had Wheeljack and Ratchet who built everything before, didn't you? Really, but you also had Grapple and Preceptor. But
I guess so. I see what you mean.
So that's why he felt like a bit of a loner. So in the end, he turned to be the hero. And spoiler, when they confronted Galvatron in the end with his ultimate weapon, which
I don't know if you need to say spoiler because it's been out now for a bit.
Just streaming now.
It was also an interesting confrontation with Swindle on the beach trying to get your pan, wasn't he? Trying to barter with Galvatron.
I'm a bit sick of this whole spoiler thing when we're talking about something from 40 years ago. It's getting a little bit annoying now.
You're drawing the line in the sand.
It was also,
if you haven't watched it yet, it's your own fault.
If you go spoiler it one more time,
I won't do a spoiler. Fine. And then there was also an interesting bit where Swindle was trying to barter with Galvatron as well. So there's quite a lot in this whole one episode. And then for me, I just get to go back and watch it over and over again, because I think it paired with Nightmare Planet on the VHS, not Visual Hand Syndrome. That stands for Video House System. That VHS? I don't know. Anyway, so spoiler, it wasn't an ultimate weapon. It was just,
I think I preferred him when he was drunk.
Oh, well, he tried.
I did. I definitely preferred him when he was drunk. I take it all back. Somebody get that man some shots.
I haven't finished. So it wasn't. So Rodimus got his balls and then confronted Galvatron and said, "Look, I don't care what you got. I've got my team. I've got my house. I've got my fam." So
I definitely misheard you, because I thought you just said one of them got his balls. He did what now?
He did.
I don't remember that in the episode.
He was doubting himself.
I was starting to imagine Galvatron doing a rap.
So and that was, I guess that was my favorite. That one, or Starscream's Ghost. I think that one was pretty good. So we'll do it again when we do top fives and Paul's back with it.
Well, leave some for the other guys. Choose.
We're not doing a top 5 at the end, Jamie.
yeah, Ultimate Weapon. That was my one. I really liked that. I liked everything about it. It was a very complete episode for me.
Okay.
Awesome. So we've got an episode, season 4, season 3, and
which was not the discussion.
Go on, Jamie.
There goes our discussion for next week. When
this was not what we agreed in our many meetings.
So, basically, my favorite episode, and it's quite a lot of strong contenders, because as you know, the girl who loved paraglide, etc., etc. And then you've got the original pilot episodes, which introduce you to how useless the Autobots were aiming, and you can understand why they've been fighting and losing a war for 4 million years. Well, it doesn't say much for the Decepticons. But yeah, I think it is the Ultimate Doom. And then the Ultimate Doom had 3 parts, and it's kind of hard to sort of narrow down. But thanks to everyone else breaking up the rule book, I can kind of talk about all 3 episodes now. And it was just classic, you know. It was when you saw Cybertron coming in, and for many of us, it was the first time we actually got a real look into Cybertron apart from the opening episode. And I think the sort of the image of Cybertron was just awesome there. From there, and absolutely loved it. And I loved the fact we got to see the Dinobots in actions. We got to see the heroic Autobots not being so heroic because, you know, they had Spike reminding Optimus Prime that, you know, it's about saving Earth, and Optimus Prime was almost going to sacrifice Earth just to save Cybertron. You know, and then you've got the classic lines from Dinobots, you know, Grimlock and that, saying Grimlock not caring much about saving this stupid planet until he realized he was on the stupid bloody planet. Then give him a motivation. And it's just fun. And it's just like good. I'm going to actually try to show a clip.
Slave control time's over, Megatron.
And I like this. I love this scene. You see Bumblebee dancing around the pole there, which I just thought was hilarious. You know, you can just see him coming out there dancing around the pole. And that's just Bumblebee, isn't he? You know, people are fighting, trying to save humans. Bumblebee's just there dancing around the pole on a ship. And then you've got, you know, classic scene. This is from Ultimate Doom Part 2. The Dinobots into action. You know, trying to stop this massive wave coming in. You know, and it was stuff like that because I just loved when you saw the Dinobots. Anything you saw the Dinobots in was just immense. And that's when the Dinobots were a proper size still, though, big and powerful. Unlike the sort of the UK comics where they started to sort of like neuter them, you know, shrinking them down in size, making them almost normal sized and not these massive Titans, these Goliaths, these monstrosities which they originally were. You know, an uncontrollable sort of weapon, which was to stand up to Devastator, which was a combiner. You know, so that to me was why the Ultimate Doom was cool. You know, it was just had, you know, Cybertron coming in, causing harm to the whole Earth, the Autobots, you know, doing their best to sort of save the Earth, and it was, and Spike having to encourage them not to give up. You know, so I would say, apart from me just talking about Ultimate Doom, if you get a chance, just watch Part 1, Part 2, Part 3, and really just enjoy that sort of like epic storyline, you know, of G1. And I would say, you know, it is good. It is good, and it's maybe one of the best of the later stories.
The Ultimate Doom was what they ripped off of Dark of the Moon, wasn't it? The idea of Cybertron being transported into the Earth's atmosphere by the Decepticons and spoiler alert,
Sentinel Prime
and Sentinel Prime as well. And it was ripped off from the Ultimate Doom's episodes. So yeah, it does show that the story kind of survived and obviously is, you know, one of the better stories. But that's a good choice. So we've had that was end of season 1, was it?
I think it was midway through season 1.
Midway through, there we go.
Yeah, that's what my memory.
So you chose an episode or episodes from season 1. Well done, Jamie. You listened to the brief. Does that mean there's just me to go? It does, doesn't it? Right.
Yes.
Come on then. Right. So normally I'd have just gone the Rebirth. I'd have completely gone down the same road as you, Marcus. But I decided, again, because we talk about it all the time, I thought I won't. I'll have a look at the G1 episodes, the season 1 episodes, and then actually pick one. And the one that stuck out for me that still sticks in my mind was Plague of Insecticons. So represented here, of course, by the Insecticons. I've only got 2 hands, so Kickback's over there. He's my least favorite.
Baby Cyclona.
Still a plague.
So the thing is, the reason why that episode appeals to me was because I liked the introduction of the Insecticons anyway. I found them quite creepy as a kid, especially I think it was Shrapnel who had the that repeating voice thing that he had going on, where he'd repeat the last thing he said over and over. Exactly, that creepy kind of thing, which I always thought was interesting.
Shrapnel the one who didn't have anything cool?
Shrapnel.
Oh no, he was the one who had the cool stuff.
Yeah. To me, I always thought Kickback was the one because Kickback basically could kick really hard, and that was it. Yeah. That's just for me personally. If you're a Kickback fan, please don't take it personally. I really like the new Kickback toy. I think that's fantastic, and especially the repaint as well, which is also lovely. But my favorite has always been Bombshell. I like the look of it. He's the first Insecticon toy I remember seeing when, again, somebody brought it into school. It was like, what the hell is this? It's this fantastic bug creature that turns into a cool-looking robot. And the episode itself stays with me because of Whackaday. Back in the days when we had to, for those of us who came from working class backgrounds and didn't have access to Sky to be able to watch the episodes and things, we only really got those G1 episodes through like Whackaday, and you'd get like 5-minute chunks every day, but you would sit and watch the whole of Whackaday just to make sure you didn't miss that next 5-minute chunk. And that episode, I remember, was one of the ones that I managed to catch every single bit without missing it. And I loved it. I just absolutely loved it. And I've always liked the Insecticons ever since. So for me, the Plague of Insecticons is one of my favorite ones. Oh, I could have also gone for any episode with the Dinobots in, because it's the freaking Dinobots, for Christ's sake. If you don't like the Dinobots, what are you even doing here? We can't be friends anymore.
I mean, Bumble Jumper said that you said Bombshell was one of the best. He's glad he got promoted to an early grave and died and never became anything else.
Well, he said glad he got promoted to not being
Bombshell had a great Bombshell has a great future ahead of him as the second in command
of the Insecticons.
We should have
relaunched.
See what happens. Discussion 1 week. Bombshell versus Skywalk. See what happens. Bombshell will win.
I mean, it's you know,
we just poll the audience. We could do a poll.
Who wins? Bombshell,
no, don't poll the audience. Don't
Bombshell or Skywarp? Who actually became Cyclonus? You decide, and then whatever you decide. If we don't like
what did your eyes see?
You can participate.
What did your eyes see on the screen?
They saw Bombshell being turned into the Armada and Skywarp being turned into Cyclonus, and you will not change me. But anyway, my episode is Plague of Insecticons.
Fake news, Ultra Marcus. Really, it's been done.
All right, let it go, Jamie. Let it go. Let it go. It's all right. Yeah, it's Plague of Insecticons, and an actual G1 episode as well. So, you know, 1 out of 4 of us remembered that. Anyway, right. I believe we have something we want to show, and when I say we, I mean Alexis. Before we finish off, is that right, Alexis?
My favorite IDW character. My favorite non-G1 character. I found some photographs. I remembered I did some photographs of him. So I thought I'd just quickly share these and just going to whiz through them. So, oh, hang on. I can't click on that screen. It's this screen, isn't it?
Oh, technology, Alexis.
Yeah, click on your screen.
I'm clicking on why is YouTube not working for me? So he has his little robot. He doesn't have a Brain Master because I don't think that's how he works in that. But he's got pretty cool remote mode, pretty swish jet mode there. It looks like something that I remember out of the 80s, like a Diaclone sort of ship, which was like 3 ships in one, almost, which I've got like remnants of. The jet mode in the little jet mode is not very good, but he himself is a very good character. He's very cool. He's got his sword held to the camera there, so don't take control. No, sir.
I love that sword.
There we go. That's him. That's what I just wanted to share that.
Is that it?
That's it.
Is that it? What Jamie means is, thank you, Alexis, for your valuable contribution to the show. That was very well spelled.
I'll get to the photographs if you want.
No, you're all right. Anyway, so I think that's pretty much everything for tonight. So thank you very much to everybody for joining us, and those of you in the chat, which has been pretty lit tonight. And it's nice to see some new names in there as well, or at least ones that I've not seen in there.
And there was some pretty nice comments coming there. People really love that figure. So what was the name of that figure, Alexis?
Oh, I know that. Cool. I know that. It's Planet X. Planet X Cadmos.
That's the one you're after, isn't it, Andy?
That's the one I'm after. Yeah. So if anybody wants to sell me a Planet X Cadmos, just drop me a line. I don't think anybody will, because everybody seems to want to keep theirs, bastards. Anyway, there you go. So thank you very much, Marcus. Before we go, actually, I do think we should say, what have you got in the pipeline, Marcus? Because I know you're always.
Oh, I am working on. Oh shit! Am I still here? I just accidentally pressed.
You're still with us.
Yeah. Okay.
You're still here, Marcus. Don't worry.
I'm halfway through a stop motion at the moment, which I'm hoping will be ready by the end of October. And I haven't got any video footage to show you because it doesn't really lend itself to a teaser trailer. But briefly, as a teaser, world exclusive. It's about a transformer who is propagandized into joining the Decepticons, and so we follow him on his journey as he starts his Decepticon training. He'll go through the training, and then he'll go out into the world on his first mission.
What's Decepticon training like? Is it did they say
it's
mean
kind
words?
Does he learn to swear?
Does he learn to Decepticon training is kind of influenced by Full Metal Jacket, that movie. Remember that? When they're training for Vietnam? That's what I've watched.
So instead of a crew cut, did they get painted purple or something like that?
They get the badge.
Jamie bitch.
I was going to say, wasn't that basically what happened anyway? They just got a purple badge and said, right, now you're a Decepticon.
Yeah, now you're in. I'll try and make something dramatic of the training process over a few episodes and then send them out into the world on a real mission where all hell will break loose. So it's going to be like a mini series because I wanted to do a series with Chug, but it's not going to be like half-an-hour episodes like Zarak or hour episodes. It's meant to be something quick that I can put together and put out, and it not take half a year or whatever. So that's coming soon. And you might think, well, who's joining the Decepticons then? Whose origin? No. It's not an Autobot. Whose origin story is this? And I actually had a custom made especially for this from Input, who I believe is or was in the chat, and he's the guy who made Nacelle for Robot Recruits.
Yes.
So this is the lead character in the upcoming story, and I've kept this off social media and stuff until now. But there you go. We have a rather unique looking Seeker there with got a little bit of gold on the back as well.
Nice.
So this
black and gold.
Or is the name still top secret?
The name I'm aiming towards Silverwing, maybe. The color scheme should point you in the direction of.
Is he called Swing to his friends?
Yeah, Swing. So that's coming soon. And thanks, Input, for that. That is absolutely beautiful.
Lovely work.
So that's me. Yeah, that's what's coming. What have you got coming on the channel, Andy?
We've got stuff. I think
we've got episode 140.
Next week on Transformers the Show, we'll be joined, at least for part of the show, maybe the whole show, I don't know yet, but by the lads from Primetime Toys. Greg and Graham, I think, might be joining us for a little bit of a chat about what life is like when you're setting up and running, and how you've got your own robot toy company that you're trying to push and everything. So that'd be really interesting because they're lovely lads and they're always good to chat to.
And we've also got the meetup, which we haven't got a date for yet. We're still working on that.
Oh my god! Right, let's just say this now. This meetup Alexis keeps going on about. Alexis is the only person who thinks this meetup is happening. It'll just be Alexis in a pub going, "Where is everyone?" Nobody will know what's going on. You'll still have a good time, though. I guarantee that. And you'll still end up drunk in the corridor of a hotel
especially
somewhere.
When you start
that is the
kissing club. Alexis,
the kissing club reunion. Oh, that's going to get awkward. We have that, and I think as we approach, as we go on through the year as well, of course, we've got TFU KCON coming next year. The second one, which is going to be fantastic, and we've got a few of the guests who I believe will be joining us on the show in the build-up as we get closer and closer to that. So that's something to look forward to as well, because there's some hopefully some really good guests coming along as well.
Shuttlecock just bought the dust there, didn't he?
Yeah, it's not important anymore.
Shuttlecock. Oh no,
he's flopped.
We go, 15
the best of us, Marcus. He's had a long week.
He didn't last long, did he?
It's not the first time you've heard those words, is it? Anyway, right. We'll move on. So thank you very much for everybody who has tuned in tonight and joined us tonight. Thank you very much, Mark, for coming on and being as wonderful as you always are when you're on here. Really doing your bit to convince Jamie not to hate all Welsh people. And Jamie,
I bet.
Do we have the Twitter and Facebook graphics, or are you just going to tell us?
Oh yeah, the graphics. I just
we could it might be quicker just to tell people. There you go. So you can find us at Transformers the Show on Facebook. So we have our own Facebook group. Come join us there. On Twitter, Jamie.
Twitter at TF Show UK.
And that's the best one to follow, really, because there's that's run by Jamie, and he does interact a lot with people and put out loads of pictures and news and stuff like that, and it's really good.
Lots of nudes.
Alexis, what's the Instagram?
Lots of nudes.
Yeah,
it probably will be nudes too.
Transformers _the_show.
So if you want some of the hot off the press news from 2018, follow our Instagram.
I'm very selective about what I pick and choose.
Oh my! I'm very selective about what I put on, or whether I bother putting anything on.
It's like a time tunnel.
I hand over to Jamie many times.
You want to know what
was it like before COVID?
He doesn't want to do
it. Oh, you madman! You absolute madman. Anyway, that's it for episode 139. Thanks for joining us, and we will see you next time. Bye-bye.
Yeah! Come on, everyone! Woo! Sing along. Arrow fire. I know you know the words. Thank you, everyone! Thank you for coming to the show!
Oh, can we have you on every week?
We're going to have to make that video clip so we could just play it and have us being back.
Do you know what? I wish we could have.
Are you all
dancing
too?
To join in when we always dance to it.
Because I can see Mark is just going, yes.
Oh, you can see me, but that's it.
Just shaking.
David sees everything.
Cameras in your house. Don't worry about it, though. It's fine.
He sees everything.
Anyway, I think we're done, Jamie, aren't we?
Yes.
We're done.
Thanks,
All right.
guys.
Thank you and
Goodbye.
good night, lads and lasses and everyone else.
Good night. Bye.